Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're on Project Cars 2 for the final round of the Apex Esports League Group A Touring Car Cup. And tonight's round we are at Algarve. It's going to be some pretty exciting racing around this track. We've got for the session just the final race setup. We're heading over into 15 minutes of practice, weather is clear. Then we have qualifying 15 minutes, weather is clear. And then the final race is 30 laps, weather is clear, and there is a mandatory pit requirement. So after the fourth round, we have Rooney 9915 leading the championship on 932 points. Next followed by Corby 387 with 702 points, so losing out some points in the last week's race with a disconnect in the first race. We had in the sprint race last week, Rooney taking pole after Corby's disconnect and then getting the victory and fastest lap. And then followed in the race 2, it was also a pole victory and fastest lap, so making a clean sweep in round 4, which he did the same in round 3. So we'll just have a look at the team championships. We have Corby and Spray and Pray leading with the team Hitchell marks for the championship. It is pretty close with the big points up for grabs. They are definitely going to be still having to defend off Vazmac Boys Team 2 and also Rooney, who's actually next in line, so running as a single. A few cars already scrambling out onto the track. And don't forget, if you're joining us for the stream, jump on the chat, say hello, we can see all that. We do have a variety of sound effects controls underneath the stream. Be sure to get into there and play some cheers and applauds and other fun sound effects as the race goes on. Let us know who you're going to be cheering on for tonight's round. We get some great shots from Algarve. It's a very good track. Plenty of action. The Sierra is struggling a little bit in pre-round practices. You could see the Mercedes and BMW having a lot stronger competition at this track. We'll jump on board for a lap around Algarve. We are in Portugal for this track. Hey, Dirty Monkey, thanks for joining us. D-Train navigating that hairpin quite well. Rooney making his way out on track now, our championship leader. As long as he just gets a clean finish, you can see it's quite a long pit lane. Our pit stops are going to be quite lengthy. Rooney doing very well to be coming third in the team championship. He's only just been a single driver. Make our way through the teams. We have Mr. D-Train. He's in the BMW. His team is Piston Broke. He's teamed up with Steph, if I can find her in my list. We get some quite good flying shots on this track compared to all the very fixed views we get that we usually see on all the other tracks. We had Marky debuted with us last week, and being a later entry, he's only just a single team driver. There's a normal, thanks for joining us. DG0787, who made an appearance, I think, in round 3 for this series. He has been able to race with us for quite a while. He's able to make it again tonight for the final. So it's good we got 16 cars out on track. We have Sami, who's Vazmac Boys Team 2. And he's teamed up with DK Rush. Through the next slots. Vazmac Boys Team 1 is Philly Manilli, and he's partnered up with Wira. And of course our leading team is Hit Your Marks. That team consists of Corby 387 and Spray and Pray. Spray having a fantastic result last week. That's really pushed them up for the points. When there is 240 points available for a win, it's possibly going to see a bit of movement in the team standings. If a team can both get a solid result, they're going to be pretty set in bumping up. Oh, a nice drift by Spray. He's really pushing that Sierra. I got the Dodgy Boys. Doggy Daddy 420. It's teamed up with Coco Dog. First time's coming through on the board. Corby's coming with a 155.8. And Doggy Daddy's teammate Coco Dog has come in with a 157.2. Oh, Mick Cliff's just come in with a 155.3. That's two Sierras now up in the front end. And we have Team COVID Racing, which consists of Gallon. Oh, a little bit of lag going on. That was a big lag skip out. And it's Gallon and Simo Simsel. We lost Simo in both races last week with some connection issues. We saw him disconnect a couple of times and then rejoin back in. We also saw Corby suffer a disconnect in the first part of the round, losing out qualifying points and race points. Hopefully no tech issues for them tonight. It would be very costly to occur. Who have I missed in our list? I think I have gone through right, actually, except for our other single team driver is Mick Cliff, doing it on his lonesome and from the controller, and we've seen him up on the podium a fair few times. He's had a fantastic series. Giving these guys a real run for their money, with considering he does it from the controller as well. 154.3 has been set by Rooney. He's taking the quickest time so far. And DK Rush not too far behind and upping it up in the Mercedes. 0.176 from Rooney's time. Oh, very broad. We'll try and jump in for a lap with someone in a moment who's going to be pretty close to doing a lap. Got a little while before DK completes this. We'll jump on board in a moment with him and head around for a lap. Spirit. There is Simo. Hopefully no tech issues. He said he's fixed up a little bit of his networks. Hopefully he has better luck with that tonight. Here we go. On board with a DK Rush in the Mercedes. Going down pit straight. Oh, it was a very quick time. He just took the quickest time, 153.8. Very fast technical turn one, followed by another quick turn two. A lot slower coming down into this hairpin. A little bit slippery. Oh, he's going to bring the car in. Usually happens when we jump on board for a lap with someone. We either cause them to spin out or they choose to bring it into the pits. I think where Gallon is on the map. He's on for a pretty quick lap as well. So we just went around the second hairpin. The short back straight. And fast left bend going uphill. There was a little bit of lag showing. Careful of this curb. It's a very tricky corner that sweeps out and then heads into a very sharp corner. Then you're going to get back out to the other side, ready for the next bend. Another hairpin. The next longer hairpin. It's a very quick one. We're going to see a fair few passes be attempted at that corner. You can't see the bit of a crest coming down over that corner. If you can nail that nice and cleanly, it gets you a great run for that final corner onto the pit straight. That's a pretty quick lap for Gallen. Look at that, he just shaved off 2 seconds from his fastest time. We have two Mercedes bumped up towards the chop. Dummies now came in with a almost 154 flat. We have two Mercedes leading the charge. That's going to be good for Team Vazmak Boys. Sorry, Vazmak Boys Team 2, I should say. They can keep this pace up for qualifying and the race. It's quite possible if they get a 1-2 finish, or pretty close to each other up in that top end, they definitely could take over from Hit Your Marks. There's stubby coolers available to the winning team and also to the winning driver. Flash the lights. I think it's his teammate ahead. It's probably who he's doing it with. Yeah, he's playing with Simo. Goes out wide and allows his teammate through. We're seeing some pretty tight times so far. There's only 9.3 seconds separating the field at the moment. We're still got that car parked up at the moment. He hasn't got out for a time. If you're new to Apex Esports League, don't forget to hit that follow button. We do go live with races on Monday and Thursday nights. Appreciate the growing support for Apex Esports League. I think we're up to about 133 followers now on Twitch. Got over a couple hundred members in our Facebook group, so it's good to see. We've got a great racing community and plenty of good action to see. Def's just improved her lap time. She's just bringing it in. So we're getting some good drone shots of the cars. Corby, pretty tight time with him and Mick. 154.777 and a 154.863. Quickest Sierra time is a 154.3. There's not much in it, it's only half a second separating those three Sierras. Well, we do have two Mercedes leading the way, then Gallen next in line with Mercedes and Coco Dog really pushing it up there for the BMWs. Marky Mark's in the BMW as well, I believe. Yes, he's in the BMW. BG just having a little bit of an... Looks like he might be trying to get some temp into those tyres. It's like that rear's taken a hit at some stage. He's got a bit of damage to that back left. A little bit slippery out onto that exit curb for D-Train. It's not too often we see the tail fish out like area in the BMWs. Usually being the Sierras, we see chain drifting through each of the corners. The guys are going to be having a lot of fun trying to battle it out around Algarve. Lots of action tonight. It's going to be very exciting. Oh, Simo showing a few little lag skips. Hopefully it doesn't have too many connection issues. 153.8's been hard to beat. There's a minute 20 left of the practice. while ago, DK set that time. And pull another lap like that in qualifying, it's probably going to be a definite pole setting time. He's a good 0.2 off from Sami's time. That slide for Spray, he comes down over that flat out. Let's down for a lap with Spray. Which is just out. He's got enough fuel, I think, to get around. He's a little bit slower. And just watch this car slip around flat out down to this corner. You can really let this car slide out. A little bit too much slide though, probably jinxed him. And we found the Sierras are able to exceed the track limits just a little bit more than the Mercedes and BMWs. We're noticing a lot of driving. Oh, we've cursed him. We've done it for him. That's going to be it for his practice session. And then we have the practice complete for the final round. Few drivers out on track still. They got 110 seconds to finish up the last lap. Okay, Dog's in the last sector at the moment. It's very similar pace to the next BMW, which is D-Train. Dog a 156 almost flat. Let's see if he improves this as he crosses the line. It's a very delayed shot going down into pit straight. Doesn't improve that time. They have actually, it's probably AI driving this car at the moment. And our two quickest times for the practice is DK and Sami. Good to see the Mercedes up towards that end pretty early on. I've seen it only once or twice. So far in the series, it's been very Sierra dominated. Are going to make this wait out. Then we have practice complete. DK Rush setting the quickest time of 1:53.8, and he set that on pretty early, and he's very similarly paced to Sami. We can actually see Sami was 0.2 quicker in the sector 1, but then he's 0.2 slower in sector 2, so that's the 0.2 difference between there. So if he can sort of round that section down, it's going to be very similarly paced to each other. They're going to be a very fitting team for the last round, which will help them with coming second in the team championship. They're only a bit away from Hitchell marks. And drivers, you can hear them swapping out their settings. DK and Sami are only 79 points away from Corby and Spray and Pray. If they can get a 1-2 finish at some pretty big points, it's 240 for a victory. 216 points for taking second place. If they can get the same finish in the race as they have in the practice, it would definitely be opportunity to take the lead and win the drivers' championship. Sorry, not the drivers' championship, the team championship. That's pretty much cemented in for Rooney. All he's got to do is just have a clean finish, and he should have enough points to stay ahead. Corby just getting a little bit loose at the moment. Game session time has changed to 10 AM. conditions are still the same. It's clear all the way throughout. You're going to see some very quick times being done around here. Yeah, that's right. Dirty Monkey with the boost as well. As Nick Cliff was mentioning, especially with him trying to drive the car with the controller, he was saying the car feels very loose and trying to actually get it to not be so sensitive and slip out. He's had to actually wind the boost back, where all the other tracks he's been able to have it set to full and take advantage of it. As you can see, that car just want to keep sliding. There's not much torque as it gets around. And we have our drivers ready for their first time laps. Come on board with Mick. See his steering control in here. Remember, he's doing it from a controller. And getting a little bit loose on that corner exit. I think that spray's car, I'm not sure. Is this ran wide? May even be Corby. You can hear it spool up as he goes up that hill. That's where the boost starts to become a little bit dangerous in the car. It's much more technical and a lot of off-camber corners, a lot of hills, crests. And these cars are already quick at losing traction. Putting that throttle down at the wrong time will just start to put that car into a big slide. It's still a pretty good lap Mick's putting down at the moment. It's a very tight line. Very cautious for the throttle. It's flat stick for the remaining corner. That was a good lap for Mick. Comes through for 154.4. That is a very quick lap. Quickest so far is 154.2, and that's set by Gallen. Noticing a few lag issues for Gallen. He seems to be skipping aside a few times. Not sure if it's coming through the stream screen as well. Can be a little bit of variance from what each console will actually be seeing. This all depends on the connection between each user. That's where it starts becoming potential for incident with other drivers. Some may be lagging a little bit more compared to what others are seeing. Coco Dog still doing well in the BMW. First time lap of 156.9. I think we did see him get down to 155 from memory in the practice. Track temp should have increased a bit more. They should be able to get a bit more grip down onto the track. DK Rush straight in with a 153. Another Mercedes up the top. Philly's coming through for 154.2. Oh, we're at 152.9. We didn't see what he could do in the practice. He was parked up for, I think, not just about the whole session. Must have been saving it all just to come and show us how it's done in the qualifying. That is a quick time. We thought a 1:53 would have been hard to beat as a pole time, whereas just proved us wrong. Corby loses it on that hairpin, a couple of slips. Corby in with 1:54.1. Where is teammate Philly Manili, currently with the 4th quickest time. Seeing a lot of 1:54s on the board. DK's just improved that time again. He shaved off 0.3. That's still half a second to go to take back pole position. Waiting for our championship leader, Rooney, to get a time on the board. He did take a little bit to get out onto the track. I think he was in with 1:54.5 in the practice session. Our first time laps, there's a fair bit of time spacing the full grid at the moment. We did see that get down to about 7 seconds by the end of the session. It's currently at 20.9. Very wide run on. Will this be a first time lap for Rooney? No, so that must have been his out laps. This will be his first time lap. That's where, or Philly, that's just pulled out of the pits. That must have been Philly's car. Sierra screaming up behind Simo. Simo's car showing a bit of front end damage. See just how different the driving lines are. You can see the Sierra in the background, so either Spray or Corby dart off to the other side of the track quite aggressively and then sharply turn in, ready to start getting that car to slide down through that corner. That's where the Sierras have been able to get a lot of good cornering speed. And Mercedes and BMW has to adopt a lot different driving style in the other rounds. They've really been able to bite into the racing line. And we have seen them start to slip around a little bit more tonight. The layout of the track having a little bit more advantage for them to be able to spool it out a little bit and allow a bit of drift to actually carry a bit more speed into the corners and still have that traction down to bite in where it's counting. That's Corby just getting around. Yes, it's Corby in car number 71. Where it's still holding that pole time at 1:52.9. DK has got half a second to shave off to beat it. He's currently in the pits at the moment. There's 10 seconds separating the field currently. F in the BMW, and I think that's Coco Dog tucking in behind her at the moment. It's a good wide approach. Big dart around. Not sure if that might be. That's actually Doggy Day, not Coco Dog's car. Steph's teammate D-Train not too far behind her. They're following each other down pit straight. D-Train doing well with a 1:56.5. Currently the quickest BMW out there. We had Coco Dog quickest in the practice session. He's very similarly paced to D-Train at the moment, only 0.1 away, or less than that, just a bit. He's come through for his first time lap, coming in 7th, 154.3. Similar pace to the practice session. But look at all those Mercedes up the top end. Oh, where has this spun out? I don't know if he's made contact with Gallen or Simo as he's just come around. There's 3 minutes remaining. Hopefully he hasn't taken any damage. I think that's Simo that's just spun out. That's just slowed down DK a little bit. It's enough time for him to get around for this lap. I think this could potentially be his out lap. He was in the pits just a moment ago. And then Sami in with the third quickest time. I think that's where we're parked up on the hill. Has brought that car in. See the Piston Bro team peeling into the pits at the moment. Fourth quickest, another Mercedes. That's Gallen with a 153.9, so we've got a few in the 153s. The increased track temperatures probably helping the cars stick a little bit more. And then the first Sierra is the 5th quickest time, that is Corby. Followed by another Mercedes in the 6th spot. Then we have Rennie in position 7. You can see them up in that top area for the practice session. We didn't have so many 153s on the board. We had the 153 set by DK, and then it was quite a few 154s, and it looks like, I'm not sure if it was DK or Sami. That was with one of the COVID racing cars that had been turned around. That was Gallen, I think it was. Bit of damage. That could potentially be just visual because of lag. Hopefully doesn't get a disconnect that costs COVID Racing a fair few points, missing out on both of the races last week. There's only 10.6 seconds separating the 16 cars at the moment. That's pretty good pace for the whole field. Over the course of the 30 laps, only being 10 seconds out. If they all keep at that pace and there's no incident, it means we could potentially not see any lapping going on. There's qualifying complete. Drivers now in their last laps. Spray having a little bit of fun with the car. All DK's just brought that car in. Carl's going to make sure he puts on a burnout for us as well. He's gone the wrong way. He's going to have to be careful he doesn't get himself a disconnect here. Sorry, disqualification can occur. Here's some screaming going on. I don't know if he's going to try and do... Not sure. Is he going to do a burnout for us right at the end? He's going to try. He's going to do some circle work for us. There you go. Not quite working for the Mercedes at the moment. And we've got someone coming along. He's going to roll out in front of him. He's just going to avoid them. I think that was Marky Mark. Just finishing up his last lap. Look at that slide into that corner for Philly. Get aggressively across track, ready for that next line. Oh, he's just hit that curb and that car's lifted up. That's where it starts to get a little bit dangerous on those crests. Coco Dog's going backwards down pit straight as well. He's having some fun. Simo coming up to the last lap, and Rooney. And across the line, will Rooney improve his time? He's got to aim and hit him here. Yeah. Big hit, narrowly avoids Rooney. I think Rooney improved that time. He's in with the 5th. I'm pretty sure he was sitting in the 7th spot. He's moved in just ahead of Corby. So that's 4 Mercedes leading the front. Pretty sure Marky Mark has crossed the line. T-Rex just got home. We're wondering where you were. And we have 15 seconds remaining. There's a bit of carnage at the finish line where the guys are having some fun on pit straight. And then we have the final rounds qualifying. We have Weir come through with a blisteringly quick 152.9. That was a pretty hard time to beat. And he's about half a second slower in Sector 1 compared to DK Rush. So the rest of that lap was made up in Sector 2 and quite significantly in Sector 3. If he can get a similar time to DK in that Sector 1, that would have been a super quick lap. So fantastic driving by Wira. And then also starting from that top end is DK Rush in position 2, Sami in P3, and then followed by Gallen, Rooney, Corby, Philly, Mick, Marky Mark, D-Train, Coco, Spray and Pray, Doggy Daddy, Simo Simsel, DG, and Steph. So we're going to head over into the ready room now. Cars will be on the grid. Drivers got a couple of minutes to get their setups and pit strategies set in time for the race. Yeah, the Phasmac boys are in pretty good positions, Dirty. 1, 2, 3, and 6. That's very good starting positions. It's good to see the Mercedes more heavily dominated up towards the front end. BMW is seeming to be quite outperformed in this series. I would have thought they would have been still fairly closely matched. We've seen some spectacular getaways from the grid with the Mercedes. Considering they're up towards the front end for the start, that's going to suit them very well if they can pull that same start off. Be able to pull away from the pack pretty early and get into a good position on approach into turn 1. We do have that sharper right-hand bend for turn 1. And followed by a sweeper and then a sharp hairpin. So it's going to be very cool. Oh, we've just had one of the cars at the back nudge forward. Hopefully he's rolled back in time. That'll be a jump start. I think that was Simo. They're scattering everywhere on the track. The Sierras seem to get away a little bit quicker, but we've still got 5 Mercedes up the front end where it gets out ahead nicely. Very well positioned for turn 1. Couple of side-by-sides coming down the back end. Looks like a little bit of contact going on towards the back. Bit of nudging going on with Gallen, and I think that may have been Philly as they were just finding their position for that corner. See a few Sierras darting around. Gallen moves up into position 2. As cars drop back, I'm not sure who that was. Someone's main contact. DK having a bit of issues with that car, or is that Sami? I think that's Sami. Looks like a little bit of slip was going on. He's dropped a fair few positions. Have Philly in position 4. Mick Cliff's moved up into P3. He's going flat stick in that Sierra at the moment. There's a 1 second lead at the front. Drew is getting a nice run ahead of Gallen. keep this pace up. Bit of congestion going on for a battle for 6th position. Corby, Sami, Rooney getting in pretty close to each other. Coca Dog's bringing it up in the back with the BMW. That slide from Corby just ahead of Sami did cost him a little bit of speed. He's going to have a good run onto pit straight. We're probably not going to see the Sierras pull away as quick as they have been dropping the boost off. That straight line speed's going to be gone when you see the Sierras really pull away. And Rooney, see him tuck in behind Sami flat slipstream. Sami lost out. He's carrying a lot of aero wash coming down to that first corner. He had to start shaving off that speed. Philippe runs out wide. Still the same gap at the front. We're managing to keep that 1 second marking between him and Gallen. Hey Jeffries, thanks for joining us. And a cheer on Spray and Pray. Cliff doing well to keep that Sierra going. It's keeping fairly well paced between Philly and Gallen. DK starting to close in on Philly. Oh, Mick's just made a bit of a mistake that's allowed Philly to move up into position 3. He had to drop off a little bit of speed. Looks like there was a tad bit of oversteer going on. But also followed by DK. Oh, a little bit of a delay in the camera getting over. DK tucks in behind Mick Cliff. Carries a lot of speed down into the final corner. This is where we saw Sami lose it last lap. He is getting a big lot of aero wash. And then by the time he was coming in to hit the braking zone, he had way too much speed coming down into that off-camping corner. Ooh, a little bit of contact between Gallen and Philly. Tiny nudge. Gallen runs very wide. That's going to cost him a lot of speed. Pulls back on in time, and look at Weira starting to pull away. It's lap 3. He started to further the lead by about half a second. Had a slowdown penalty being applied to D-Train. Yeah, Drivers' Championship leader. Rooney is battling out with Corby. Can't really see where the Sierras are struggling with this track. However, we have Mick Cliff doing well with the controllers. That's where we saw him lose that position out to Philly last lap. As he hits that top of that crest, the car's looking to oversteer a little bit. He's having to back off that throttle and then run wide, otherwise he risks spinning it around. Battle going on for position 7. Sami and Rooney sitting tight behind Corby. Gallen has dropped back into position 3. Basmac Boys Team 1 now leading the race. We're out in front by 1.9 seconds. He's followed by his teammate Philly Minelli in position 2. Gallen currently running 3rd. Followed by DK Rush, who's closing in very quickly on Gallen. He darts out for a slingshot. Not sure if Gallen definitely gave that position to him. Not sure if Gallen was potentially abiding by a slowdown. Looked like he had to drop off some speed at the corner exit. Mick's closing in very quickly, looking to try and find a position and then nudging around Gallen. Seems to be carrying a lot more speed. I think this is the corner where we've seen, and that's not. We can see a fair bit of slip going on for Mick Cliff. You can see he's much quicker than Gallen. This is where Mick's really lost the speed out. Much nicer line. You just see where the tail of that car just wanted to start sliding out. When the turbo kicks in at the top of that crest, it starts to get very skatey. Sami's gotten around Rooney and Corby. Corby's dropped back 2 positions. Corby is facing a fair bit of pressure with having Rooney and Sami both sitting very tight. Got Sami and that Mercedes really pull away from these two. We have seen at least the last 2 corners this year is be able to carry a lot more speed through that mid-corner section. Slipstream really helps him here. It's not enough for Rooney to slingshot out around. A little bit of slip, he's had to back that throttle off. That's allowed Corby to close in on him. Look at our race leaders, we're now lap 5 of 30. These guys are really going for it. There's some great battles going on throughout the field. Looking to get around Gallen again. Mick was at least 2 seconds quicker last lap around compared to Gallen. Gallen set a 157.2, Mick a 155.2. Takes that much more shallow entry compared to Gallen. Goes to look for a position on that inside. It's quickly blocked by Gallen. Bit of a lag skip shown by Gallen's car. That's good, no disconnects so far. Simo having much more luck. Terrible disconnect issues going on for him last week. But he seemed to be able to get some points on the board for COVID racing. You can see Rooney slingshotting around Corby. Rooney maybe running a bit more boost, really cuts that corner. It's going to cost him. I think Corby followed suit. No big slide. Goes back across. That kitty litter really stopped him short. That was very lucky. That could have been a very long slide into that wall. Oh, I think a tad bit of lag going on for it. It was a quite sharp jolt suddenly as well. That incident could have gone very badly for Rooney. We've got spray into the pits. Not sure if he may have taken damage or if he potentially had a drive-through penalty. He may have had to serve as well. That's Timo just allowing him to get around. D-Train's taken some damage. He's got a post-race time penalty of 1 second. That's not too bad. Cliff has gotten around Gallen. He's hunting down these Mercedes. Coco Dog doing it for the BMW, is sitting in position 7. He's only 11.6 seconds away from our race leader. That's as we're coming to the end of lap 6. And he is closing in on Sami. Let's see how he goes for this lap. It's 157.4. Sami did set a 155.4. I think that was the quickest lap being set last lap. We're still sitting in a good position. It's 1.8 seconds away, or it's about 2 seconds now from his teammate. DK Rush could be in some trouble. Mick is closing in pretty quickly. He was 0.9 quicker than DK last lap. And they're less than half a second away from each other. If he can keep this pace up for this lap, he'll be looking to get around him. Should probably be looking to pass by the end of the lap. If Mick can carry on a very good final corner, he'll definitely be able to nab him on pit straight. Mick's done very well to pick his way through the field. The only Sierra up in the top end. Next Sierra is Corby in position 8, followed by Rooney in position 9. We have Marky Mark trying to close in on Doggy Daddy. Here we go. Will there be enough time to sling out around? No, not quite. DK will be feeling some pressure now, having Cliff sitting very tight in his mirror. Rooney and Corby still battling it out for position 8. Corby runs very wide, brings it back on. Rooney carries a lot of speed still. He's not going to be in a very good position to make a pass just yet. Colby locks that back left up through the hairpin. Still closing that gap in on DK Rush. It's 0.3 quicker last lap. DK makes a mistake. That's where we've seen Mick have bad luck on a couple of laps. Mick's really seeming to nail it now. DK had the same error. That's allowed Mick to gain a position. He moved up into position 3. DK's not giving it up that easily. He's still hanging on. Being very close. Once our camera decides to catch up. And tucked right in on the tail of Mick. That is some close racing. Carries some great speed. Oh, he's going to have a good run here. Probably moved over a little to the inside a bit too early. Sierra's going to pull away now. So that car up to about 245 before having to hit the anchors. Amount of speed down that straight. Oh, Mick starts to spin. DK also dropped the tyre off a little short on the corner. Both losing speed. Going to allow Gallen to close in that gap to them. See Gallen up into P2 at the start. He has dropped back a few positions. Still just ahead of Corby. Marky Mark starting to close in on Doggy Daddy. Battle of the Beamers at the moment. Oh, yes, Dirty, I did just see your message then. Yeah, it does. That's where 6th gear comes in handy for sure. Doggy's just received a time second penalty, same as his teammate Coco Dog. Over the course of a 30-lap race, it's probably not going to be too much of an issue to have 1 or 2 seconds added to your time. But in saying that, hey, we have actually seen some pretty tight races over the course of the longer length races and still lose a position because of it. For a third of the way through, there's only a minute 15 separating the 16 cars. And there has been a couple that have had to head into the pits as well. Now, race leader Wirra is quietly driving to himself out the front. Still maintaining that gap between him and Philly. Keeping about 2 seconds between the two. Last lap around was a 156.2 for Wirra and a 155.4 for Philly. Philly having a little bit more pace. Philly definitely a little bit quicker than Mitcliffe. Referee's bringing that gap in. He's been making his way up the rungs pretty well. A little bit of slip going on. Had to use a bit of throttle control to get that car back under control. Sims just gets a good run onto pit straight. You see him chasing that draft from Steph. Oh, he's going to make a move on turn 1. He's going to have to dive on to do it. He's probably positioned himself enough not to have to squeeze her out. That's a very nice pass. That's nicely done by Simo. Simo moves up into position 14. Did just overshoot that corner a little bit, loses a bit of speed, doesn't lose the position back to Steph. Marky Mark looking to get around Doggy Daddy. Army battling Gallon at that moment. He had a lot of speed carried onto that last corner. He's not going to be able to do the same move we saw Simo go for. Correction at corner exit by Sami. Gets up along that inside in the hairpin. Very nice pass. Sami moves up into position 5. Gets away very quick. That was some great speed. His teammate just ahead of him. DK Rush in position 4. About 1.8 seconds away from DK. That's a 1-2 so far for Vazmac Boys Team 1. And another 1-2 for DK and Sami with Vazmac Boys Team 2. The lone Sierra in between them. Yeah, that's a good one. Dirty a Vazmac sandwich it is. Having to do a lot of throttle control. There's a lot of feathering going on. Looked like that car may have started to slip a fair bit. We are getting close to the halfway point. Tyres could be taking a bit of a thrashing. Rennie making his way up. Now looking to take on Coco Dog. He's really pulled away from Corby. He's now put a 4-second lead over Corby. Coco Dog moves well out of the way for Rooney. Tucks back in. Rooney was carrying a lot of speed. The lap was a 1:56.2. Ware has pushed out that race lead to nearly 3 seconds now. Cliff only just marginally bringing that gap in between him and Philly. He's 0.3 quicker last lap. He's not getting any closer to our race leader Ware at this point. He definitely is closing in on his teammate Philly. Drivers have to start considering some pit stops very shortly. I can imagine they're probably not going to want to last out for a majority of the race with tyres. There's D-Train looking to get around Simo, but unable to get as much speed. Really seemed to drop off in speed towards the back of the straight. DK has lost a spot to his teammate Sami. Looked like he really dropped off some speed. He may have made an error in one of the corners. Runs a little bit wide down through turn 1. Like a little bit of a lock-up for Sami through the hairpin. DK really pulls away out of that corner. Gallen dropped back a little bit. Misjudged that hairpin. Had to really back off the throttle and corner exit. There's a tad bit of oversteer. Gallant is closing that gap a little bit more. He's closing in on Mick Cliff now. Mick has dropped back a little bit. 2.5 seconds quicker last lap. That's where we've seen Mick Cliff lose out a few laps on that crest. Quickest car out there for the last lap was Sami. There's a bit of traffic going on. I think that's Steph's car. Marky Mark's in the pits now. That's allowed Sami to go for a nice outside pass. And Steph moves to the inside, out of the way. He saw an opportunity to sneak out and around. But Mick Cliff carries a lot of speed. Uses a bit of a slipstream from Steph. That's not who I was looking for. I did actually select the right one, just the game picked someone else. Mick takes P3 back. That was a very good shot down pit straight. Marky Mark's just coming out of the pits. He's had to drop off a lot of speed. Not sure what was going on. It's just gone into a fish. He saved that car, nearly comes back on track in front of Mark. Riz had a very slow lap. He just did a 1:58.7. That's allowed that 2-second lead he had over his teammate to drop off. Philly's lap being 2.6 seconds quicker. As McBoy is still holding that lead. Philly starts to drop back away from where he's starting to get some more pace back on. Could potentially be seeing some tyre wear showing on the cars. Lap times seem to be dropping off a tad. He's got a good amount of fuel. Running 45 litres. Whereas running 66 litres in comparison. That car running much heavier. DK has dropped back down to position 6. And Whereas heading into the pits now. Philly stays out on track. Drivers do need to be aware that if they head into the pits the same time as their teammate, they will have to wait for them. Most likely we'll see, Philly's having a little bit of an issue. Looking like a little bit too much aggressive steer to get that car across the track. It almost started to slide out. The Mercedes did bite down in the end and get through. Whereas done his pit, making his way out. Where comes back out on track in position 8. To see when the other guys start to choose when to go into the pits. Something Philly may head in this lap. They've got a decent lead over the rest of the field. 3.5 seconds between Philly and Sami. Mixed pace has started to back off quite a fair bit. I was going to say he'll probably be heading into the pits now. Oh, Gallen decides not to. I think he just saw that his teammate was in there. Simo was in the pits, so he would have had to stop and wait for him. Yes, and Philly in the pits now. Makes his way in. Coco Dog's also peeled off into the pits. Simo will stop for a while. If Gallen did go in, then he would have had to sit and wait for quite a while. That was a good decision to quickly swerve back out on track and stay out for another lap. We have Sami now in the race lead. Got 4.5 seconds over him and Gallen. They will need to pit. He will pit first out of Sami and DK. For lap 16 of 30, just past the halfway mark. Doggy Daddy now heading into the pits as well. First pit after and Philly was Mick Cliff. He's come back out just behind, a few seconds behind Wirra. Philly actually came out ahead. Wirra must had a bit slower pit stop. Rooney's is heading into the pits now. His teammate Philly good 6 seconds ahead. He has been in and pit. Considering Sami, Gallen and DK will all need to pit yet. And it seems to be that we're getting about, I think, 35 seconds, 40 seconds in total for a pit stop. We could definitely be seeing Billy be back out in the lead. Over the lap times that Sami, Gallen and DK are setting a pretty quick 155 still. However, now that Weir's been in and pit and got probably some fresh tyres, he's set a 154.8. If he's getting 1 second quicker at this stage, every lap they stay out, they're going to be costing themselves 1 second potentially. A little bit of rear slip visible with Sami. Still pretty close considering we're lap 17. There's only 5 seconds separating P1 and 2. Another 1 second separating position 2 and 3. DK stays out on track, same as Sami. To see if their lap times drop at all. Billy in the 155s. DK just did lose out a second that lap. Interesting to see what sort of time Weir sets. Having much fresher tyres. Some traffic going on between Spray and D-Train. Weir again, another 154.5, so that's a full second quicker still. The race leaders are probably going to really need to head in and swap out some tyres. Stop the button on. The difference in between Sami fuel load compared to Weir. Sami's running 43 litres and Weir is running 57 at the moment. D-Train battling out Spray and Pray. All goes to go inside, a little bit slippery. Had to correct that and get back out. That's some good speed, but I think Spray's going into the pits. D-Train moves up into position 10. More BMWs looking to battle it out. Right, closing in on Doggy Daddy. Sami's peeled off into the pits. DK will need to stay out for at least another lap. Gallen's also heading to the pits. Sami just stopping out. Should be a pretty quick stop for him. It should just be tyres. DK needing to try and push out as much as he can. He's slowed off by another second as well. Probably should have hit a few laps beforehand. Definitely mean they will come back out quite a bit behind Weir and Philly. That's probably lost about 4 seconds all up just from lap times. Don't forget, if you're just joining us for the stream, to hit that follow button. Good seeing our number of followers. I think we've got about 133 at the moment. Last I look, good if you can see that grow up to 150. We've got plenty of racing action. Project Cars 2 on Thursdays and iRacing on Mondays. We do have the final for the Spec Racer Fords on Monday. Side-by-side action between Doggy and Mark. Gets around, but Doggy holds him off in the inside line. Side-by-side through the hairpin. Mark goes out wide. He's going to be in a good position for the next sharp corner. Pretty evenly matched through the hairpin. Ducks out in front of him, but there's almost going to be a switchback going on with Doggy. No, Mark gets well out. The Dog's carrying a fair bit of speed through that final corner. Can he get a bit more speed to get run on into turn 1? He gets well ahead. The DK has been in and pit now. Philly and Wera now out in the lead. Wera carried a lot of speed on that straight, gets up and around his teammate. Mick back in position 3. That car under control. There's a little bit of speed coming into that. Started to understeer a fair bit. Don't forget, with the stream, if you look underneath, there is some sound effects controls. You can cheer on your favourite drivers, applaud, and some other fun sound effects. Have some good fun playing those over the stream. Don't forget our social media links at the bottom of the stream as well. Our Facebook page for all our results, standings and incident reports. And also details if you want to get involved in any of our racing. Yeah, dirty mix hands would definitely be hurting at this stage. The finger on the throttle would be very, very tender at the moment, probably a bit cramped up on the controller. There'll be a lot of throttle work going on. You can see that, just the little blips on the green line for the speedo. He's done a fantastic job. He's usually had a bit of bad luck with finishing. However, this series he's had a very good run, landing the podiums. It'll be great to see him at the top of it. And it won't be long till he will be doing that, and it's definitely still an opportunity for this race. He's only 6 seconds behind our race leaders. Looks like a little bit of gear shift problem going on for him as he approached into that hairpin. Not sure what's going on for him at the moment. I know Mick's wanting to look at getting onto the steering wheel as well. Once we see him do that, it's going to be fantastic results. It'll probably take him a while to get used to the difference with how accustomed he's gotten to the controller. Considering we've coming in with our next series with the RSO1s that is sponsored by Pagnium Imports and Next Level Racing. So there is a Next Level wheel stand light up for grabs. If there's a series to win, it would be very deserving for Mick. It'd start him on his journey to getting the steering wheel set up. Hopefully he can make that the championship that he wins. Yeah, dirty, had some hand exercises in the break for sure. And I'll probably still throw up some lobbies on the Thursday nights. I'll probably get out on track with you guys and do some driving in Project Cars. It's been a while since we've done that was the birthday bash that we did that last. That was in April. Make sure we get out on track. We won't do a couple of weeks. Different cars, different tracks. We have Mick Cliff has actually copped a post-race time penalty. Really a bit of an oversteer coming out of the corner. Barmy having to get around, I think, a spray and pray. He's closing in on Mick, position himself up nice along that inside. Squeezes his way through. That was a very nice but risky pass for Sami. Oh, it's a slip for Mick. He gets that car back under control. He's probably well exhausted trying to keep this Sierra doing so well. He's position 4. He's got phenomenal pace. The next Sierra is Rooney in position 8. And you know, in the group comments, he was mentioning that he was really struggling with the practice prior to tonight. That the kart was very loose and he was just going to do his best not to put it into anyone. And look at him, he's absolutely flying in this car up the front. I think that's Steph. There's a D-train that Philly and Wira are having to get around. It must have been Steph that just getting around. Oh, she just spun out. Not sure if there was contact. She'd move the inside line, but I think it might have been a little bit too much speed carried in. She's now got Sami and Mick Cliff looking to get around. She's moved off the line to allow them through. Tucks back in. He's up in P3. That's free with Azmax leading the way. Mick's still got to get around Steph. Steph slides into that corner. Does she make contact with Mick? A little bit of a nudge. Gallen getting around Spray. Spray not having too much luck with tonight's round. We had a fantastic week last week. Steph's just been turned around. Philly still sitting around the 1 second mark away from his teammate Wira, who's done an amazing job leading for majority of the race. It's lap 23 of 30. Gallen closing in on DK. Very similar pace at the moment. Last laps were both 1:55.0. Lag skip shown on Gallen. First 6 cars, still only 10 seconds separating them. That's over the course of 24 laps. These guys have not held off at all. Billy runs a little bit wide. Be a fair bit of fatigue going on for the drivers as they head into lap 25. Battle going on between Doggy and Mark still. That's Rio and Philly needing to get around. You have to try and get around quickly and cleanly. want to be involved in incident with a back marker this late in the race. Gets into a nice position. Gets around very quickly. Just needs his teammate to get around. Billy gets around nice and quickly. Gallen still closing in on DK. He's not making it easy for him. There's only 0.2 difference between them on that lap. DK managing to hold him off at this point. Well, there's been a spin. Who is it? Is that Philly? I think Philly's gone for a spin and hit mate a pretty big wall contact. It'd be great if we could have a replay feature in Project Cars so we can go back and see what happened. It's unfortunate for Vazmak. It's pretty hard hit to the front. He's dropped a fair few positions. Yeah, that's right, as a normal fatigue at lap 25. You can laugh at that after doing the iRacing stuff. Definitely, after two 12-hour races that we've done on iRacing since Bathurst 12-hour and Sebring, it's quite phenomenal. You're doing 2-hour stints with your teammate, that's still quite exhausting. I don't know how the guys will manage to do the Spa 24 hours on the weekend as well. One day we'll definitely have to have a crack at that. Not sure if that's Gallen darting off to the inside. If he's letting Mick through, he may have been abiding by a slowdown, giving up that position. Moves up into position 3. DK coming in hot behind Gallen. Well, Mick's made a mistake. He's lost a bit of speed coming through the hairpin. Well, there's contact between the 3 of them. I think Mick started to spin out in front of Gallen. And then they've had a tap and pushed through. That could have gone much worse for DK considering he came straight into the middle of those two. He had nowhere to go but to actually T-bone them. Hopefully there's not too much damage to his car and the 3 can still continue on. Probably a fair bit of fatigue with these guys for sure. And it is a very tiring track. There's a lot of corners. Save the trickiest for last. Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah, you did. It was Indianapolis or something, I think, as normal, wasn't it, when you did the 300 lapper? Philly's still having issues with that car, so he hasn't brought the car and he's taken a fair bit of damage. He's definitely going to be having some suspension issues. He's just going to have to try and battle that car through. without causing incident. He doesn't want to be copping any penalties because the car's not handling right. This is where he's got to gauge up whether he does just bring it in, get it fixed, or if he can just slowly get it around for the remaining 3 laps. We're flying ahead now. He's leading the race by 11.6 seconds with only 3 laps to go. Unless he makes a big mistake and has an incident like we've seen the rest of the top drivers during the last couple of laps. He's probably got the race in the bag. 3 Mercedes leading up front. It's Army in position 2. DK in position 3. Mick still doing well with the Sierra up in position 4. Even have a BMW up there in position 6. Coco Dog still doing well. He's got Rooney, our championship leader, behind him. Ooh, a little bit of slip going on for Rooney. Pretty sure finishing in position 7 if there's no penalty points apply for any instance that we haven't seen. All he needed was just a clean race. Position 7 will still see him take 132 points. And he's leading the championship by 230 points ahead of Corby. So we have to actually be involved in a fair few incidents. Several no redress penalties to hamper his championship win tonight. So I don't think that would be the case. Looks like some back markers coming up. Not sure whose car that is. It may be Doggy. That is Doggy. Gallen's gotten around. Mick just needs to get around. There's only 2 laps remaining. Rooney's gotten past Coco Dog. We are our race leader, still out front. That's good. We're 28 laps in, 2 to go. Haven't had anyone have to retire out, no disconnects. It's been a fantastic last round. All the drivers had to battle it out for a majority of the race. A fair few time penalties at the moment. Coco Dog wearing 2 seconds, D-Train 1, Mark 1, and Doggy Daddy 1 second. Mick Cliff's got a 10-second time penalty, so that would have been speeding in the pits. So at that rate, he will actually lose out position if he keeps this current gap between him and Rooney. Rooney is only 8 seconds behind him. Rooney just needs to keep that gap and he'll take that position away. It's unfortunate for Mick. He's locked that back right up through the hairpin. Coco Dog's only got a 1 second penalty. He's got 8 seconds before he has any on him, but he's battling it out with Rooney at the moment. Rooney ran wide. There's a little bit of rubbing going on through the next corner. That BMW not giving up on a fight. Dog's done some great driving in this series. He's been at the top end for the BMWs. So it's really only been the car that's kind of held him back in this series. We've definitely seen a disadvantage to the BMWs. Didn't expect it to be so much between the cars. There's our race leader, Wirra, still sitting around that 11.8 mark. He's now coming on to lap 30. He's got a 12-second lead over Sami. Gallen starting to close in on DK. Can Gallen get a podium spot? He could potentially make a pass on him in the last lap. We'll be inviting our podium finishers into the chat once we get to the end of the race. We're just finishing sector 1. Almost halfway through the last lap. Spray and DG battling it out for position 13. Oh, Corby's just gone for a spin. Turns that car back around the right way. Gallen hasn't been able to close in too much. A little bit of traffic coming up for Wirra, but I don't think he'll catch him in time. He's only just got the one last final right turn into pit straight. And that will be a win for Wirra. Here he is, about to cross the line and take victory in the final round. Flash of the lights, well done. Wirra, fantastic drive. Congratulations on the win. A little bit of a delay. Swapping over to Sami. There's Sami in position 2. Congratulations, Sami. Gallen and DK almost going for it for a photo finish, 3rd and 4th. Enough time to get around, but Gallen came very close. Mick Cliff in 5th position, well done. He will lose that position though. Yeah, Severoni moves up into position 5, Mick in 6th. Coca Dog in 7th, well done with the BMW. Colby coming up in 8th position. Crosses the line in 8th, well done. There's 80 seconds to go. Philly's still battling with that heavily damaged car. He's done well to still keep it going around. And good to see him following his teammate for a 1-2 finish. They did run like that for a good portion of the race. So that one small mistake, putting him into the wall. He didn't lose too many positions in the end from the damaged car. He's probably glad to see that finish line in sight with how he's had to really battle that car these last 5 laps. Well done, Philly in P9. D-Train coming up in position 10. There's 30 seconds remaining for the last cars to get across the line. Pink marks, it's an AI. Not sure if these guys are still racing. There's 17 seconds remaining. They are still out on tracks, they are still battling, but it's not going to be enough time to cross the line, so they will finish in their current positions. have the conclusion for the Group A Touring Car Cup. We have Wirra taking victory in the final round. And then I think potentially he's just missing out on the fastest lap. Fastest lap looks like Sami at 1:53.977. So well done. So also on the podium is Sami in position 2 and DK Rush in position 3, followed by Gallen, Rooney, Mick, Coco, Corby, Philly, D-Train, Mark, Doggy Daddy, Spray and Pray, DG, Simo and Steph. So well done to all our drivers. It's been a fantastic race and a fantastic series. So we'll be sending through an invite to Wirra, Sami and DK. So bear with me while I try and add them to it. Be good to hear just what was going on for our drivers. Have to find Wirra, Sami and DK in my long list of drivers on the PlayStation. There we go, we sent them off the invites. They'll be coming in momentarily. If you've got any questions for our podium finishers, be sure to throw that into the chat. I can relay that on to them. So we've got Sami joining. Congratulations, Sami. Good drive.
Cheers, mate. It was a tough one, I know that.
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty tight in the end to do 30 laps and have you all finish that close to each other. It was a pretty fierce battle throughout.
Yeah, all the cars were pretty close. I think that first few laps too was really good to sort of battle with the Sierras up through the back part of the circuit.
Yeah, mate. So. Good stuff. First of all, mate,
it was a lot of fun.
Great effort. All team Vazmac boys, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was.
Awesome
and
job,
Philly
Sami.
only just missing out and doing
mate,
the
unlucky.
first 4 for him. Yep.
Yeah, mate. Awesome job, guys.
Yeah, congrats
on the win,
Congrats on the win, right, Wirra. And,
thanks
again, Sami, for all your help throughout the series. Appreciate it.
No dramas.
Thanks again, JT.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, poor old Philly didn't get his tyres changed, so he was sort of running pretty low.
So he was running low.
Yeah, had no grip, so it was unfortunate.
I only changed my rears, so I had no front left by the end of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did start seeing some lap times drop off towards that back end, so I was considering that it probably didn't have some changes and we're facing a bit of slip with the tyres.
Yeah, well, mate, given I had the 2 Mercedes behind me, mate, my 2 teammates, I sort of just had the one arm out the window, mate, just going for a Sunday cruise, mate.
Yeah, just Sunday drive, mate. That's
Sunday drive, mate, waving to all the fans, mate, on the left as I was coming around the last bend, mate, so, yeah, no, good stuff, guys. It was awesome series, JT, as usual, mate.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough, mate.
Thank you. And we look forward to seeing some good action in the RSO ones coming in the next series.
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait.
Yeah.
And just while
again, on the
cheers,
pole
guys.
On the win, mate. And thanks again, Sami.
Thanks, guys. Just while I got you all here, mate, just a big, massive shout out to Mrs. Wirra, mate, because without her, mate, it wouldn't be possible. So, thank you.
I'm guessing that's Wirra Wifey in the chat.
That's the one, matey.
Yeah.
There you go, Wirra Wifey. Yep, she's been there.
All right, JT, mate. As usual, thanks again, mate, for an awesome series. I'll see you in the next one.
All right, talk to you.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. See you, mate.
And there we have our podium finishes for the final is Wirra, Sami and DK, and that is the Vazmac boys team 1 and 2. So a good finish for the Vazmac. So that is the conclusion for the Group A Touring Car Cup. So be sure to check out our Facebook page for all results and standings. And then we will be actually having a couple of weeks break. So we won't be streaming it, but we will put through some replays of a couple of the last rounds so you can still see that. Otherwise we will be driving for a couple of sessions during that time. And then it is a good next series. We have the Pagnian Imports RS01 Trophy. That's another 5-round series, and there's a fantastic prize being supplied by Pagnian and Next Level Racing. So our drivers will actually be competing for a Next Level Racing wheel stand light. So we will bring that up now, just to, if you want to get involved in our racing, this is what you will be winning. The Next Level wheel stand, it's going to be a fantastic prize. So if you want to get involved in that, head to our Facebook page and then you can follow the links to find out how to get involved. There are some spots available, so be sure to get in on it. But otherwise, thanks for joining us. I hope to see you trackside next time.